Mike Davidson put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And the next one is the Central City Biannual Report. I think John Meeker is going to come forward. I was quite keen for the staff to present just an update on where things have got to. Thank you.
Thank you. I've not prepared any slides, but I guess the main headlines from the first half of the year really were that the period was heavily affected by COVID-19, which impacted on events, central city spending and issues like that. On the more positive side, the opening of Te Pai was a big step forward for the central city, and making a decision around the arena, Te Kaha, was equally as important. In terms of the state of progress in the central city, the very low levels of vacancy at the moment is a really positive thing, and that's starting to stimulate new development. And perhaps picking up from the rebound from COVID, following the same outcomes from previous lockdowns, spending has been up in each of the last Junes over the last 5 years. So, that things are returning to some degree of normality after a particularly hard period that the trade has had. And then probably the final part, really drawing out some results from the Life in Christchurch survey. There continues to be positive sentiment about the progress of the central city, but there are still, I suppose, one area of concern remains that there is still some concern about safety, particularly after dark. That's probably all I've got to say. Any questions?
Thank you. I think there's a bit of a protest happening outside, but I don't think it's in relation to this report. I don't know yet. So, Tim.
Thank you. John, the recent email we got, excuse me, from Annabelle with regard to CCBA, how can we kind of close that circle? Is the circle closed? It seems we've discussed a couple of things, and our connection with CCBA isn't quite there. So is this the right place to ask that, or is it something that or you could just... So we made a discussion with regards to the Central City Shuttle, and so the CCBA said that they actually hadn't been discussed with them prior to the decision being made. So is this the right format to say, how can we ask you to look into how we can close that circle? Is this the right format?
Yeah, I mean, sitting on the board and attending the board every month,
yep.
I can be feeding those in. It's important, obviously, that we get the opportunity to be aware of these issues as they come up, but that's something that we'll work on as we go forward.
Thank you. So, if we can just feedback to us how we've closed that circle, that'd be great. Thank you very much, John, and thank you very much for the work you're doing. It's really important. Cheers.
Right. Thank you very much. So I'm happy to move that the report be received, seconded by Tim. Any debate? Yes, Sarah.
It's been really interesting. So the summer of 2019-2020, just as things were starting to rise around the world, people really thought that the city had turned a corner. The city was buzzing. People were like, "Oh, finally, Christchurch is back." That summer, and then a month later, COVID hit, and we went into lockdown. And so I think this summer will be back to that again, and things are looking really good. So it's really good to say thanks.
Thanks very much. And look, I'd just like to add to that, thank you very much for the work that your team's been doing. It's actually been really worthwhile having all of the reports to us, so that and also can I just say thank you for your calm and patient approaches to central city business owners, talking about barrier sites to the regeneration of the central city, and the work that you've done with what was referred to as the gravel pits, and the work that you've done there to make our city look better while it's still in transition. So thank you very much. It's something that I think you can be very proud of, and I'd like you to take the thanks of the council back to your team. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. Right. The Christchurch wastewater treatment